And peace to you all. My name is Umi. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed, scheduled sessions, left your positive feedback in comments or via email. I absolutely appreciate your support. So in this video, I'm going to be speaking to those of you who are air dominant, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or you have a lot of aspects to Mercury. So if you're air dominant, you can also find this out if you do a Google search on your natal chart, and some sites do offer, like at the bottom, it'll show the percentage of each element that is in your chart. So, 40% fire, 20% earth, and you can kind of gauge it that way as well. If it shows that you're more air than the other elements, then you're air dominant. So many of you air signs are messengers, if not all of you. And those of you who are air dominant, you're messengers. You've come here to share a message with humanity. There's no denying that you have the gift of gab. Many of you are very social. You like to talk. You love to share your ideas, your plans, your dreams, your interests. So when you are so vocal, there's an opportunity for you to tune into your higher spiritual awareness, your higher self, your light body, God body, essence, and share that through your messaging, how it is that you communicate. This can come through writing, this can come through vlogging or blogging or music or channeling or whatever spiritual practice interests you. You serve as a vessel to communicate what many people are just not aware of. So this operating a lot on the mental plane can really stress many of you, meaning that you can become scattered, uncertain, confused, not sure what to listen to, not sure what is of your imagination and what is actually truth, based in facts and research and your inquisitive nature. So we often link, intuition with the water element. With the air element, you can certainly tune into your inquisitive nature. So you've done the work, you've done the research, or you get an idea, an aha moment, an epiphany, a vision. These can manifest through the air element. When we look outside, and it's interesting because right now there are leaves and stuff blowing all outside my window. When the air element is blowing and there's a storm brewing, it picks up a lot of debris. Leaves, tree branches, glass, objects can get cast into the wind, and this can become quite dangerous. What does this mean for you if you are air dominant? It means that it's important you abstain from gossip, slander, just talking for the sake of just talking, because this can indicate that you haven't quite developed the ability to filter out what is of value, what is worth speaking on, what is worth sharing. I know quite a few people I've come in touch with in the past. I guess I would have considered them friends at the time, but would have difficulties keeping secrets because it's almost as if they have to talk, they have to share it, they have to spread it. So the air moves, we all feel it, we all need it, like every other element. But it's important you don't abuse your ability to be a messenger, that people come to you for juicy news and gossip, or you're not deciphering what's true in a message, and therefore you're sharing not just the air, but you're sharing all the debris that comes with it. So it's important you understand what it means to filter out. Spending time in certain practices such as meditation can help to quiet your thoughts, can help you to detach a bit from your thoughts and placing so much value on what you think and your opinions and what you believe to be true. And we all have to do this practice, but especially those of you who are messengers, because we don't want to give the wrong message. We don't want to send the wrong message. We want to communicate with love, whatever the Most High has gifted us to share with humanity. So just making sure you're using discernment in that regard will really serve you in the long run. I believe I mentioned that many of you operate on the mental plane. You can do a little bit of research on what the mental plane is about, because it's like entering into a realm where it's busy, 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 constant conversation. And this is why I said sometimes your thoughts can be very scattered. You can become indecisive, and this can affect your mood, and so on and so forth. So understand, what does it mean when I step into this mental plane of what I think and my opinions and my ideas? How can I fine tune it? How can I navigate this mental plane? And this will come with, some level of maturity. So I will say here, keep in mind that some of what I share is going to completely contradict your nature and who you are. Some of you may be very introverted. This is going to depend on other aspects in your natal chart. It's going to depend on other factors. So take what you need and discard the rest. Something else important to keep in mind is that you are, again, very inquisitive. You're very curious. So this is to your benefit, that you can research and study and really obtain a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. But more so when it comes to information, it's important that you're applying that information. This is when grounding yourself and spending time around your earthy friends can help you to decipher that information and to apply it, make it practical, make it useful, so that you're not just walking around with a bunch of information and you're always, sharing your intellect with people, and they observe that, okay, this person's witty, they're smart, they're intellectual, but your lifestyle and your life and your practices need to match that intellect. They need to match that knowledge you have, the information you have. So make sure you're actually applying it and you're not wearing your mental glory, that air sign presence, as just a crown of hey, I'm intellectual. Allow people to benefit from your presence through you being considerate of how they can share in that knowledge. Like, well, let me share this with you, and this is how I applied it, and this is how it's helped me, versus just telling people what you know. Something else to keep in mind, news travels quickly. So this is why I did make mention that it can be difficult for many of you to keep secrets. And this is important in friendships. This is important in relationships, that you know when to speak. There's a time to speak and a time to keep quiet. You always want to be heard for the most part. You always want to share your opinions. And there's not necessarily something wrong with that, unless this is infringing on others' ability to connect with you and communicate with you without feeling judged, without feeling that you're going to cut them off, without feeling as if you're always kind of taking over the conversation, taking over the message. And you can be so quick to take that secret you received or that knowledge you got and carry it off with the wind. It's like when a child is holding a balloon. The moment they let go of that balloon, it's gone. The moment I let go of a leaf, it blows away. So it's important you find a way to ground certain important things that people have entrusted you with. This does come with some maturity because for the most part, your nature is going to be to carry that news off. So this could make you great in fields to do with journalism, to do with reporting news and information. Maybe you want to start a podcast. Maybe you want to open up some forum where people can tune in and you can share your opinions and you can share that wittiness that you have. Many Geminis I know are so witty. They're so quick. The moment you say something, they've got to come back. They've got something funny to say. So in addition to being social and people wanting you around and wanting to engage with you because you're so social and you're up with the latest trends, you're kind of always on the scene, like the air. You're always on the scene. It's a wonderful thing and it can certainly be a benefit. But don't allow others to take advantage of you in that respect. Be sure that your dreams, your wishes, your ideas, your opinions, your thoughts are your own, and you're not simply integrating with the flow of things. My father used to say, whichever way the wind blows is cool with me. And he was the type of person that would just go with anything. He would just go with the flow of things. And it seems like, okay, what's the big deal with that? Is that sometimes it was hard to know what he stood for. What do you stand for? What is your truth? Or why are you just going along with this thing? So it's just important to make sure you're not just going with the flow all the time of, the trends or society or people's opinions, or your friends say one thing and you just agree. You're just like, okay, yeah, sure. And you go with it. So your opinions can change a lot. That's the next thing I wanted to make mention of, is change. Because the wind changes direction so often and it shifts and it's unpredictable in a lot of respects, you can go through these bouts of unpredictable change that people are just not used to. So if you have an idea or an interest, this interest could be in a person, it could be in a thing, business project. You may be interested in it for the moment and focused on it and ready to get started with it. But then weeks later or a month later or the next year, you just change, kind of abruptly and just without notice, because you're no longer interested in that thing. You're no longer interested in this person. They captivated you at first. You thought you liked them, or you thought you were interested in dating them, and then you just changed your mind. And so this tendency to kind of shift and change a bit based on your thoughts, because if you're air dominant, your thoughts are going to kind of overrule your other emotional sense or your higher spiritual sense. You're just going to be carried off with what you think. And often what you think, you give a lot of value. Air dominant. So it's important that you're not simply just moving and adjusting and making decisions with every shift and change and turn that you feel in the mental plane, that you're thinking. Because you can't hurt others in that respect. You can't abandon really good ideas and great projects as a result of not sticking to it, not grounding it, not securing it, not being solid in that thing. So again, this is when your earth friends can really be of use to you and just helping you to ground that. Write it down, pin it, keep those ideas afloat by not just casting it off or letting it float away with the wind, and then you never actually manifest that amazing idea you had, or you never get to build a solid, strong relationship with someone because you're just like, oh, I thought I liked them, but I don't like this person anymore. I don't like her anymore. She does this. Then you just change. And being around people who can help to demonstrate long-term relationships, longevity, securing your ideas and plans can teach you something. Everybody needs to spend time around the elements that not only complement them, but challenge them. So if you've been challenged with sticking to a job, sticking to a relationship or a partner, sticking to your ideas, spend time around people who do that, who are very secure in that way of doing things. And they can benefit from you. They can benefit from your spontaneity and your changing and your constant new ideas coming in. So it's about synastry. It's about discernment. It's about understanding your nature so that you can really fine tune it and live out your qualities to the highest capability, the highest capacity. So being air dominant is beautiful. Again, it makes you a messenger of the highest angelic order. You've come here to share something with humanity, but it's important you recognize while we're all here on this third dimensional plane of existence, we're going through this major shift, that you upgrade your awareness, you upgrade your understanding of what it all means. You understand what alchemy means, doing the work on yourself, clearing away all of those negative thoughts, constant flow of thoughts that have no real substance, that are just relative to the news and what's happening in your environment and people's opinions, and all of that can really cloud the true you. It can cloud your essence that makes stepping outside on a beautiful spring day, that breeze we feel, that pleasant sweet smell in the air. That's the kind of air that people love to indulge in and be out in nature, be outside around that kind of energy, that air. So if the air is harsh and forceful and filled with debris, and people are trying to block all that negativity that you may be bringing through your opinions and gossip and all of that, then reflect on that. Reflect on how people have been turned off by you in the past, or present relationships based on how you address them, based on your conversation and communication. So learn from your past mistakes. Learn from things that you've done, that really serve to show where you are in your spiritual growth. So I hope that you all found that information useful. You can certainly book a personal session where we can delve more into your chart, talk about some things happening in your life. That information is in the description. You can also send an email. I will absolutely respond. So again, I thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, peace.